here we are.
Yeah, it's nice and flooded.
So it's very wet, it's very windy,
Yep.
it's hot, it's buggy,
Yep.
but we're here.
It's all the ingredients for a successful hunt.
Yep. I'm just excited that we have an afternoon to hunt together.
Yep. So, see what happens.
I feel like this is deja vu.
Hopefully.
Two years ago.
Maybe I'll actually kill a good buck here for once.
Yeah, 2 years ago is when I shot that nice 7-point out here.
Yep.
And it happened just like this. Nice and flooded.
We had several mature bucks on camera out here last year, so maybe one of those is still around.
Yep. Let's do it.
You might want to tuck your bridge into your belt loop.
It's already wet.
A little wet out here, huh?
Mm-hmm. All right, all set. It is wet, wet, wet. Completely flooded out. Unless somebody else is out here that I don't know about. I think Tom just shot. Yes. Oh, yeah, he's calling me. He's calling me. Hey.
I just killed a stud.
You did?
On the ground.
All right.
I was getting ready to... I'm
Talk
standing
quietly. Okay.
I was getting ready to set my stand up,
Right.
and I looked over, and the wind's blowing,
Yeah.
and I saw some bushes shaking. I was like, that's not normal.
Yeah.
I sat there and watched it for a second. I said, oh, God, it's either a bear or a buck. Babe, he was over here thrashing shit, and I just snuck up in the gallberries 30 yards from him and shot him, I think, in the base of the neck, because that's all I could see.
All right, good job. I was like, I was videoing and I was like, unless somebody else is out here, I was like, Tom just shot. All right, so we have been hunting this quota hunt, I mean, several years now, and the joke is that I'm the one that always kills the deer. So I am very, very happy that he was able to finally make it happen out here, and like you just heard, he was the one that was able to get one today. So I'm gonna climb down and we're gonna head over to him and take a look. He says it's a big 7-point, so I'm excited to go see. And it is, just for reference, it is 3:45 right now. So wow, that's nice. That's really nice. Let's go see him. I feel like I walked 2 miles already. He's all back in here. I think we're almost to him now. Alright, look who I just found. He's got him all propped up and everything. Look at that buck. Oh my goodness. Wow, what a nice one. You weren't expecting that today, were you?
No.
So, let me set all my stuff down. Let me find somewhere dry. Hold on.
Right back here.
Okay. All right, let's get a good look at him now.
Look at him from the back.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
I'm 100% sure I had this buck on camera last year.
Yeah.
He got a little bigger. His brow tines got longer.
Look at that deer.
I think he's an 8-point. I think that's probably right at an inch.
Yeah.
I'll call him an 8.
Okay. So tell us the story here.
Dropped you off where you were going to sit, which looked like a good spot. Sorry I ended your hunt early.
That's okay.
I made my way on the other side of this area. I don't know, it's a 1.5 mile walk at least.
Oh, it was pretty far.
And I went back to, we hunted here once during bow season, and I found some good sign. I sat it one morning, didn't see anything, and I don't know, I can't remember what we did, but we decided not to come back. We know that we maybe got a little bit of decent intel for the muzzleloader hunt. So I decided to go back to that spot. I get there and it's like almost knee-deep water. I can't see the scrapes, I can't see tracks, but what I can see was the big old rubs that this guy was making, because there was a big rub.
You were texting me saying that you were finding fresh sign.
Well, so I started off where I sat with my bow, and there was a big rub there, and it was the one from early archery. You could tell it was old, sap was all dry and everything on the pine tree.
Yeah.
But I decided, I was like, well, I got the wind in my favor. I'm going to ease down this edge, because the way it looked, I could tell that that was just like a travel corridor. I wasn't like by his bed. So I was like, I'm making a gamble here, because I don't know if he's this way or that way, but I'm going to say what I know about this area. He's probably laying this way. So I'm going to start easing along this edge. And I was easing real slow. And yeah, I was texting you, oh, found another rub, oh, found another rub. And finally I texted you, I'm like, man, here's a really big rub. There's another really big rub. There's another really big rub, and like a cluster.
Yeah.
And generally, when you start finding sign like that, buck sign clustered up, a lot of times it might be close to their bedroom. And then the last rub that I was close enough to see, because I didn't want to walk around too much, and even you told me, hang back, don't go any further, get in a tree or whatever. I went up to it and I touched it, and the sap was like, it was like brand new. It was wet. You couldn't see shavings on the ground because there was just water everywhere. But I was like, all right, let me back off another 50 yards where I can get a good view of this area, and let me get up a tree. I get to my tree, I set my stuff down, and I don't even unbuckle the straps. I decided to just stop and just kind of look around, and I'm like, all right, there's a pond over there. There's some real tall, thick patches of stuff. He might be close, if he's even over here. So let me be real quiet. And I'm looking, and the wind's blowing real hard. And I see some gallberry bushes. Everything's laid over like this, with the wind. And I see some gallberry bushes doing this. And I'm going, that's probably a bear, but
There's lots of bears here.
it could be a bear, but it could be a buck, because I've seen this before.
Yeah.
And there's no pigs here, because pigs will, shake the bushes around like that too. There's no pigs here. So I picked my gun up, and it's about 50 or 60 yards from me. I pick my gun up, and I'm scoping it, and I'm watching, and I'm just watching. And next thing you know, I see this pop up in the air, this crab claw.
Yeah.
And I said, oh crap. I was like, dang it, I can't shoot him right here. I gotta get closer, because all I can see is the top of his rack. He's in some tall stuff. So every time the wind would gust, I would advance, and I picked like landmarks. I'm like, all right, let me get to that tree. So, and I was making a lot of noise, but between him thrashing the bushes constantly and the wind, he couldn't hear me. So I got up to one tree, and I'm like, dang it, I still can't see him here. Let me get up to that one last sapling. It was 25 yards from the deer.
Oh gosh.
I bent down like this and crouched, and he couldn't see above the stuff. And I got to it. When I got to it, I cocked the hammer on the muzzleloader, and I eased up. And when I eased up, I put the gun on the side of the tree. As soon as I got the gun on the tree and I looked through the scope, he stopped and turned and looked my way. And I said, oh, shooter. And I put I shot him on the other side.
Yeah.
You see where I hit him? I put it right where his shoulder met his neck.
Yeah.
And I shot, and all I saw was the bush shake one time, and that was it. And I was like, no way, there's no freaking way. Because I had really bad luck with my muzzleloader last year, I'll just say that.
To say the least.
To say the least.
You had some bad luck.
So I had to actually see him on the ground before I could believe I shot him. But I walked up there, he was just laying there. He was out like a light. So.
All right, well, this is buck number 2 for you.
Oh, there's one thing I want to add. After I shot him, I was like, all right, well, let me go back and get my stuff. I got to drag him out of this road to meet you. There's you can't see it from here. It was on the other side of this pond. There was a snag, a dead, petrified pine tree snag that had fire scars and stuff all over it and fresh soot on it from when they last burned.
Yeah.
And there's a hump around it, high spot.
Uh-huh.
I looked down, and it was 10 yards from this deer.
Uh-huh.
It was his bed.
Oh.
I found his bed 10 yards from where I shot him. And you could see he was bedding in a circle around it. His white hair was all over it, and big ass tracks all over it. I was like, that's pretty cool. Because when I got to the spot, I looked, I was like, with this water like this looks like perfect bedding, because there are a little bit of high spots. There's real thick clumps and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's right on the edge of, I mean, it's in the water.
So many times, you know, you find sign, you find buck sign, you find tracks, and you sit it and you're like, oh yeah, this is it. This is, I'm going to see something. I'm going to kill something.
Yeah.
But my gosh, in stuff like this, if you are not right next to bed, sometimes you're not going to ever catch up with them.
He got up 4 o'clock or whatever the heck it was.
It was 3:45.
3:45. He got up, but who knows if all he was doing was getting up to thrash a bush,
Exactly.
stretch, and stand there for an hour or two.
Exactly.
Who knows?
Well, good job. Oh my gosh, now the hard part.
Yeah.
All right, let's take some pictures and let's get it done. Let's go show the boys.
All right. I called the boys, by the way.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and they were screaming.
I bet.
So we're a long ways back, and this is a WMA that allows you to actually pack your deer out. The only thing that they require is that you have proof of sex with the meat. So you don't have to like bring a whole deer to a check station or anything like that. So since we are so far, and this deer is probably approaching 160 pounds or more, we are packing his ass out, because we would probably die trying to drag this deer out of here.
I would say that buck is old.
Yeah, in your professional opinion, all you can say is 5+, right?
Yep, 5+.
Yeah. The other side's even got a little bit more wear.
Yeah.
Look at that. That teeth's almost gone.
That is an old deer
It's
there.
probably freaking 10 years old.
How's it feel? It's your new backpack.
Yeah, it's a Mystery Ranch pop-up 28.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's doing good.
Good. Almost out. I said almost out.
Mile and a half. Little button on the back.